This dryer is a Maytag model MED 7230 HW1. I have already disconnected the dryer lint hose, and now I am about to take out these 5 screws going along this bottom top piece. And by removing those 5 screws, this now loosens this top portion of the dryer. And now that I've gotten it loosened up, I'm lightly going to lift up here, just barely, and push the top of the unit forward. And by sliding that top forward, it releases these 2 catch points. I can now lift this top up, giving me access to the 2 screws I need to reach here and here. And before I remove those 2 screws, I'm going to go ahead and unplug the machine and also disconnect that fuse right there. The 120 plug-in and the fuse are both now disconnected. And real quick, I took these screws out of the back of the unit there with the 1/4 inch size nut driver attachment. And the screws that I'm taking out right here, this is the T20 star bit. And these 2 loosen up the top 2 connection points here. And now I'm going to move from the top down to the bottom, and I'm going to take these tools right here, put in between that gap right there, press downward to remove that bottom piece that you see right here. And it just pops forward very easily like that. And I'm just going to set it over here out of the way. And now that I've gotten that off, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 more screws here along the bottom that I'm getting ready to remove. I am using again the 1/4 inch nut driver. All 4 screws are now removed. I'm going to open the door now. And there are going to be 2 Phillips screws located right here to the outside edges of the lint trap that must be removed in order for me to complete taking off this entire front face of the machine. Due to this door being in the way, these Phillips screws right here are not easy to get to with a basic screwdriver. So I do have my Toolant small ratcheting screwdriver now with the Phillips bit attached that I am going to be using here to remove these 2 Phillips screws. There's both of the Phillips screws removed, and I'm also going to go ahead and remove the lint trap screen. Okay, I should now be able to remove the entire front of the machine. Just like that. I wanted to show how much lint gets inside of these. So I am going to take the shop vac now and clean this up as much as possible before going on to the next step. Now that I've gotten it cleaned out a bit, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like 4 screws holding this piece right here on. I'm getting ready to remove those and take that piece off. I need a shorter nut driver. Shout out to Toolant Tools. All of these nut drivers and that small ratcheting wrench that I am using, these are all Toolant tools. And now I'm going to remove this metal piece from the filter section. Look inside of there. So here is a closer look at the piece now cleaned out. I have also taken a shop vac and cleaned all of this as good as I possibly can. And now to test out the thermal fuse right back here, I've got to take out these 2 screws next. 1/4 inch nut driver head. And I've just turned the flash on for you. Up here on the left, this is where I'm going to be testing the thermal fuse. And once I finish testing that, the heating element is located right back there. I will be testing that next Let me go grab my continuity meter. I'm going to check the thermal fuse now. And that is beeping, so that is good. Now I'm going to check the heating element. And it is not beeping, so this is going to need to be replaced. The new heating element has just arrived. This kit does include everything needed. I will link it in the video description. Now let me get back over here to the old one so that I can remove these two terminals right here and remove this screw and this screw right here as well, so that I can take this metal piece off and take the old heating element out. I just finished loosening this screw right here that goes right behind these two terminals. This is what will allow me to remove the entire heating element once I finish taking out this last screw right here. Now I should be able to just lift up, slide this piece out. Now I'm going to take the needle nose pliers and disconnect these two terminal points right here. Just kind of wiggle back and forth and push. Okay, there's one. Again, just wiggle back and forth and push at the same time. There's both of those now off. And now that the terminals are disconnected, I should be able to slide out this entire heating element. It's going to require both hands, and I am just lightly pulling evenly on both sides. And here is the old heating element. And for a quick reference shot, here is the brand new one. Here is the old one. I did notice some cracking throughout the frame of it and how black that is compared to this one. I'm not sure what else is actually wrong with that one, but now I've got to get this one over here slid into place and get the terminals connected to it. But before I do so, I am going to get the vacuum cleaner and a damp paper towel and finish cleaning that little bit of lint residue out of the dryer. And shy of getting the pressure washer out, I believe that is about as clean as I am going to be able to get it. Now time to get the new one slid into place. Be sure that the terminal points are up and to the left. And what I'm looking for is to line up that screw hole that goes in the side here. And I just then got it lined up. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to start it with my fingers before tightening it down with my wrench. I just finished snugging it up. Now I have to reconnect the terminals. I did just get both of those reconnected by using my fingers. The new heating element is now installed. Time to put the metal bracket back into place. This piece right here slides into a receiving point, and you have a piece right down here on the bottom that goes into a receiving point right there. And before I go putting everything back together, let me retest these terminals. Good. One more time. Good. Before I begin reassembling the dryer, I'm going to give you a close-up shot of the steps I have taken thus far inside of this tutorial video, and now I am going to refer back to them and simply go in reverse to reassemble the machine. And seeing as how I have already installed the new element and tested the new element, it looks like my next step is going to be putting that plastic flap back into place. Whenever I took mine out, I labeled the left and right side so that I would easily know which way to put it back into place. Now I'm just going to restart these screws. Plastic flap reinstallation, check. Next step is going to be reinstalling the lint screen cover. And now to get everything lined back up into place. And now that that's in place, time to drop the front panel back into position. Now the T20 star bit screws go back in the top right and left corner. Now for the two Phillips screws right here inside of the door. Now both of those are tight. Time to reconnect the bottom. Now to put the bottom piece back on. Before I can re-secure the top, I have to reconnect this fuse. Now to get the top back into position. Now for the final 5 screws in the back. Now I'm going to reconnect the dryer hose. And all I've got to do now is plug it back up. And now to put the lint filter back in place. And this Maytag electric dryer is back in business. Here's a real quick list of the tools that I used during this installation. The Toolant multi-tool setup here, this thing has got everything with it. The Toolant extension nut driver set, the Toolant nut driver set, the Porter cable drill, the Lennox 6-in-1 multi-tool, my continuity meter, and my SOG pocket knife. And I am going to link all of these tools inside of the video description, along with the heat element and fuse kit that I got off of Amazon. I appreciate your time. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to each of you inside of that next video.